All right, YouTube. This is Detroit's HPTV coming to you on this Monday afternoon. I want to have an interesting topic for you guys. And I'm doing a reaction to Vince Everett Ellison. You know, at first I thought he was a preacher. I know he wrote books, but he's a conservative guy and a Christian. He, along with a few other brothers that are conservative, have been in the news lately. But one thing that I'm starting to see is that most of the time, the brothers that's on the conservative side, they get called all kind of names like bootlicks and, they call them Toms and all of that, right? Because they have conservative views. But these young people don't realize the black community was always conservative. We just got to the point to where we want to be liberal. You know what I mean? Black people used to have shame, be ashamed to do certain things. Now, it's shameless, you know. And the thing about it is the conservativeness of black people was deliberately undermined by the Democrats, by the Dixiecrats, by the same people who created the KKK, the Ku Klux Klan, and Jim Crow. They Willie Lynch tactics of turning black people against each other so that they can always have power in the black community in a loyal voting bloc, whereas the black people are loyal to the Democrats, but the Democrats have no loyalty to black people. This is why they are currently attempting to replace black people with a new voter base. And I'm going to say allegedly because if you've been following the news, Hillary Clinton, AOC, and all of them have been talking about censoring people. Anytime you disagree with what's coming out of the Democratic Party, it's called misinformation, no matter how factual it is. If it contradicts their narrative, they will label it misinformation. So you have to be careful with that. But back to the topic I was having about how the Democrats are only using black people to secure power. And some people may say, well, Republicans do it too. You know what I mean? I mean, everybody wants to secure power, but Republicans and conservatives are not trying to gender reassign your children, are not agreeing to late term termination of pregnancy all the way up to the 8th month, leaving the border open, an amalgamation which will change the whole demographic of where we live in our communities. So sometimes you got to be voting against something. And that's what black people don't understand. Why wouldn't you vote against late-term termination of pregnancy? Why wouldn't you vote against gender reassignment for children? Why wouldn't you vote to close that border down? Why wouldn't you vote for things that are conservative and uphold the nuclear family in the community? What makes you so against those type of policies that you will let Tampon Tim Waltz and Kamala the cosplaying chameleon lead you off a cliff? Because you're so anti-conservative, so anti-Trump. But I really want to deal with the issue of how liberalism and the Democratic Party has been consistently undermining and destroying black communities all over this country. But first, let me play this clip of Vince, because he's going to speak on what I'm talking about. And listen to him. Tell me what you think.
We're going to shoot you. We're going to live in our gated communities. We're going to be all right. we're going to work for a living. We have a little money about us. We're going to be okay. We know you hate us. Nevertheless, we're still trying to help you because we love you. Still trying to win. I'm doing this podcast talking to y'all. Man, there's so many other things I could be doing right now. I mean, I could be sitting at home just chilling, eating, on a vacation somewhere. I'm down here doing this podcast trying to tell y'all to cut this bull crap out, or you're going to die. We still love you. We're still trying to pass laws for school choice, even though we can send our children to private schools. We want to help you do it for yours. We're still trying to pass laws to make sure you can get guns to defend yourself, because we going to have our guns. We're still trying to pass laws, trying to put the border up, keep the illegals out, because they ain't coming in our neighborhoods. They coming in yours. We're still trying to pass laws to keep the fentanyl and the drugs out the street. They ain't selling drugs in my neighborhood. They're selling them in yours. Hell, we're trying to help you out. And now we're trying to warn you that these sick, perverted, crazy, nasty, malcontent, ne'er-do-well Democrats sexualizing your children. And they're going to erase your whole life. And they're doing a good job of it. Showed this statistic in one of my last podcasts. It showed that they did a survey. It said that 34% of young black men under the age of 30, 34% say that they're LGBTQ, 33% say that they are heterosexual, and the rest of them don't know.
I'm going to stop right here because I want to say this is for fair usage under the 1976 Copyright Act for education and commentary, and this was in the public domain. But I had to stop because the points that he's about to make right now, you should really think about, because we don't look at things from a manner of corruption and failure. They got you race baiting so much. They want you to think everything is about race. Everything is racism. And when you focus your mind that everything is about racism, you forget about capitalism, materialism, geopolitics, natural resources. It's a whole lot of things that's affecting us other than racism. Because how often do you actually encounter racism on a daily basis? You know what I mean? And when you see some people, they'll say that America is a racist country. Who in their right mind actually believes everybody in America is racist? Think about that. Who believes everybody in America is racist? Now, we know there are racists in every country, all over the world. But with us, they want to consistently trigger us with race baiting, as if our whole life revolves around racism. Like we don't have any choices. Like we are a permanent victim class. That's a bad way to be operating.
Yeah, that's a society that you're building. And that's because 90% of black people still profess to be with the Democrat Party. And that's what they want to do for all of America. They see that as a success, y'all. A little old kid come out now and say they're gay or transgender, they want to give them a party. We're so proud of you, Johnny, for coming out as queer. People are talking about they queer for Palestine. Queer for Palestine. Tell you what, you take your little queer behind the Palestine, see how long you stay queer for Palestine, see what they do to you when you get to Palestine. I mean, Saddam Hussein said, hey man, we ain't got to worry about the West, they're gonna die. And Western Europe and America is dying because of this foolishness right here. And that's in full speed ahead. So demonic that they see death as a virtue. Everything they do is about dying and killing. It's a shame. So now, in this Democratic Party, hip-hop culture, I remember when they said back in the day, hip-hop was the culture. I said, well, where did that come from? Hip-hop being a culture? I mean, the blues wasn't a culture, and R&B wasn't a culture, and bluegrass country music wasn't a culture, but this was a culture. The head of that culture, P. Diddy, well, as y'all see, he locks his ass up. P. Diddy just doing all kind of stuff. I mean, they saying men, women, probably had orangutans in the daggum room with him. He's just showing out, taping everybody, beating up women. That P. Diddy on screen, just beating the hell out of that girl at the hotel. Whooping on folks. I mean, locking folks in rooms. I mean, it's just crazy. Said T.D. Jakes was with him. I don't know. That's what they say. Preachers with him. Politicians with him. It's all going to come out, y'all. The culture. Yeah, little Nas X out there. Have y'all seen him? Yeah, he part of the culture too. Nas and P did, both Democrats. That should be enough right there to make you lead a party by itself. You don't want to be affiliated with them two jokers at all. R. Kelly. R. Kelly got about 75 life sentences. Never get out of jail. Bisexual, messing with men and women. That's your culture. That's the Democrat Party. A party of perverts, liars, psychopaths, and anti-Christian bigots. All tied into one. Yeah, this sister came out and spilled the beans on all of y'all. She said that she believed that about 90% of the men that vote for the Democrat Party are gay. I'm going to take that to 100. If not, just like if you was part of Nazi Germany during that time and you didn't hate Jews, you need to have enough nerve and enough moxie to leave that party and disavow it. Because if not, when the Americans come in at the end of the day and say to you on that list, as a Nazi, yeah, you're going to be pinned with their crimes. If you are not a Democrat, if you don't believe in this homosexual agenda, this LGBTQ agenda, where they castrate little boys and call them little girls, giving double vasectomies to little girls and call them little boys, where they believe in 9-month abortion, where they believe in allowing grown, demented men to go into the bathroom with your wife and daughters and watch them urinate, where they believe in letting men as big as me go in and swim against little girls in the 11th grade and run against them in track. And the daddies better not say nothing. They'll put the dad in jail. Where Joe Biden sent out an executive order saying that he wants to have no limitations on sex change operations and took Tennessee to the Supreme Court so that sex change operations can be allowed on minor children. You supporting that party. Bunch of sick psychopaths. Got preachers supporting them. Y'all be ashamed of yourself. Talking about the gay agenda, LGBTQ, going in schools, bringing drag queens of our little children, shaking their asses in your children's faces, telling them that they should explore, walking around with dresses on and makeup, that this is a good lifestyle. And you sit there and allow it, and you gonna tell me that you don't have those tendencies, boy? I'm gonna walk up to you and tell you, hey man, you know what they're doing?
As you can tell, I was not created by GoDaddy Arrow. It uses a...
Well, that was Vince Ellis. I'm looking at his comments too. You know what I mean? In his comments, he said he's a pastor as well. But my point that I was making, in you know, his views of how he see the Democratic Party are not too much different from how I see them. You know what I mean? But another point that he's making that I've been trying to make, what are you actually voting for if you're voting Democrat, you're voting for the left? You know, a lot of the feminists, we understand the feminists are just voting against men. They voting against their sons, fathers, whatever. They just voting against men. You know what I mean? So you understand where they coming from. Then the black feminists, they just voting because I think that Kamala Harris has told them that she was one of them, and that's a win for them if she gets in. You know what I mean? Even though she's been Southeast Asian and Hindu most of her life, but it's the narrative. I think most people have weaponized their politics. They have weaponized their whole opinion. You know what I mean? And that's why you see in the black community what I was talking about, how the conservative men, which is becoming increasingly more, are attacked in mainstream media. But they're not really attacked in person because they're standing on something. Most of them is probably gun carriers and You know what I mean? They got CPLs. So the only place that they're really confronted is in the media, behind a desk, behind Twitter fingers. Because 9 times out of 10, you look at people like the brother Wesley in the South, you know, they all have CPL. So they're not walking around vulnerable to where you can say anything to them. But in the media, you can, you know. But this affiliation with the Democratic Party, it's like people have gotten to the point they love the Democratic Party more than they love God. It's like Lot's wife. She liked it, what was going on in Sodom and Gomorrah, more than she liked it to follow God and her husband into something righteous. So that's all I got for you for today. This is Detroit's HPTV, coming to you out of Detroit. Support the nonprofit, Detroit's Black Thought and Action Collective. The Cash App is in the description. Keep your head on the swivel and salute to all patriots. Peace, like, share, and subscribe.